NoFap versus semen retention. What's the difference? A lot of people get these mixed up and they think it's the same thing, when in reality, it's actually two different things. Now, they are very similar, but there's a couple big differences that we're going to have to go over if you want to understand the difference between NoFap and semen retention. The first difference between NoFap and semen retention is that on NoFap, you can still sleep around. You can still sleep with women. So on semen retention, you're technically not supposed to have any sort of release at all of any seed whatsoever. Now, the only loophole that I've seen with this is that there will be guys that are on semen retention that will say that you can still sleep with a girl, but that you're not supposed to bust, which is kind of, to each their own. If you've got the willpower to do that in the moment, then by all means, that's some strong discipline you've got right there. On NoFap, the primary focus of NoFap is to stop watching porn, is to stop touching yourself, jacking off. And genuinely a good side effect of NoFap that a lot of people have reported is that you'll actually end up getting with a girl, sleeping with her, taking her home, because of just what happens when you go on this kind of protocol. I mean, it's just easier to attract girls when you're doing this. So that's difference number one, is that, on NoFap, I guess you could still release your seed, but not by your own hand, by getting out there and actually getting with a real girl. Difference number two is that people genuinely treat NoFap more like a challenge, because there's stuff like NoFap November. People do like, 1 week of NoFap, 1 month of NoFap, 2 weeks of NoFap, right? There's all these flashy NoFap challenges, and NoFap is going to be more of the like mainstream thing that people that are just discovering this stuff get into. Me personally, I was first introduced to this stuff through NoFap myself, through NoFap November. That was like a big thing. Probably like 4 or 5 years ago, I remember that challenge going around and all sorts of people attempting it. The first time I attempted NoFap, I didn't last even like 2 or 3 days, because it just felt like it was so hard. The blue balls got to me and my willpower just crumbled. So NoFap is more of a challenge, more of a flashy thing. It's kind of like a lot of normies get into it. On semen retention, the biggest difference between NoFap and semen retention, you're not supposed to release anything. So no sleeping with anybody, no sleeping with any girls, because you're retaining your seed. The whole idea behind semen retention is that you don't release a single drop of any of your seed whatsoever. So sleeping with a girl and busting would technically break your semen retention protocol. So you see the big difference. And then difference number two, it is more of a long-term / lifestyle thing with semen retention. People that get on semen retention, it's not really a flashy like NoFap November. No, semen retention, people do this for months, years. They make their whole life, construct their whole life around it. They become somewhat of a monk, if that makes sense. So semen retention people will typically be someone who's seeking some sort of inner strength, inner happiness. Maybe they want more energy. Maybe they want more to be more cutthroat, increase their testosterone, etc. So I've known a lot of people that on semen retention actually avoid women on purpose. They won't date a girl, they won't sleep with a girl, even if they could, even if they have the chance to. Versus guys on NoFap, they're going to go ahead and sleep with the girl the second they get a chance, because, well, they're on NoFap and they're probably getting some sort of withdrawals. And if a girl is open and available, that's the perfect way to get that out of your system. So the similarities. So yes, of course there's similarities between these two things. The similarities is definitely avoiding porn is going to be the number one similarity. If you're on NoFap and you're on semen retention, you can definitely say that you have to avoid porn. Porn is going to cause you to break either of these protocols, Many people get on these protocols with the express objective of getting away from porn. That's one of the biggest reasons why people do this in the first place. They just don't want to watch porn anymore. It's a filthy habit. They want to stop it. They want to quit it. And they want to live their life without porn. The next similarity is just to stop touching themselves, jacking off, releasing. On NoFap, yes, you can still release your seed. Yes, you can still sleep with a girl. You can still have sex, be sexual with someone. But, of course, it's called NoFap. You're not supposed to fap. You're not supposed to touch yourself, right? Same thing on semen retention. Semen retention, you're not supposed to touch yourself. You're not supposed to be edging, jacking off, beating the bishop, taking matters into your own hand, right? So these are some pretty common similarities right here. It's a no-brainer. I honestly think NoFap is kind of a gateway to semen retention. If you're someone who hasn't fell down the seed retention, semen retention rabbit hole, a lot of people that are in semen retention actually get into it through NoFap because they see the results from NoFap, the benefits. They feel more energy. They feel more confident. They're going to be putting in extra work in the gym, extra work in their career, wake up earlier, better sleep, etc. And then they realize, you know what? I don't want to just do NoFap November. I want to do NoFap the next month, and then 3 months, and then 4 months, 6 months. And before you know it, you're on full-blown semen retention, right? It becomes a way of life. People on semen retention see the benefits of it, and they essentially decide that these benefits are not worth giving up, that they can't live life without it. NoFap, if it gets you into semen retention, that's great. But your end goal should be quitting porn, quitting jacking off in general. If you're going to release your seed, you should do it with another human being, with a beautiful woman. And that's the only time you should ever release your seed. Because that energy, the energy to create life, is so special. And like I said, there's a lot of benefits. Jacking off obviously does not give you any benefits whatsoever other than a rush of dopamine. So if you like this video, leave me a like, leave me a comment. If you have a question about NoFap or semen retention, please share to anyone, or just rewatch this video, come back to it anytime. I'm going to be sharing more tips and tricks, my experience on semen retention. I've been on this journey for over a year, longer than that, but you know what I'm saying. Give me a like and subscribe. Come on. All right, peace out, guys. This is Dark Warrior. Have a great night.